I went into it that I have to be mean, I have to be tough, I have to have a no tolerance policy. I had to be honest with you, I had to be an ass.
Welcome back to BodyShop Leaders, the show where we sit down with people driving the future of collision repair, one decision, one lesson, and one leader at a time. I'm your host, Daniel Burkholder, and today's guest is someone who embodies what this podcast is all about. Kenny Davis is co-owner of Bob Maloney Collision Group, a 6 location operation and growing in Northwest Arkansas, known for its people first culture, certified repairs, and community roots. From technician to owner, Kenny's built a reputation for leading with integrity, mentorship, and heart. Kenny, welcome to the show. It's great to have you.
Thank you very much, sir, and honored to be on here.
Excellent. Well, it's an honor to have you here. Why don't we rewind all the way back to the beginning? How did you first get into the collision repair world, and what hooked you about this business early on?
So in the late 80s, I was in school and I just wasn't really, as most of us were in this business, it just didn't interest me for some of that, but cars did. I was really big into cars, which I've always been in. My dad was into cars. My dad always had a 55 Nomad ever since I've been a kid. We would travel cross country to events and stuff in this 55 Nomad. In the late 80s, I was in school. I was not your typical honor student by no means. I did a lot of, let's just call it, eating cake and ice cream with other friends in the middle of fields growing up, and then got into cars. Thought I wanted to be a mechanic. So I took classes all through school about from welding to small gas engines, woodworking, which is an absolute abomination. I can't nail two 2x4s together, all that kind of stuff. And then when I got out of school, I went to work at the Chevrolet dealer, being a technician, a base technician, which is a glorified oil change boy. So I started doing that and to realize I cannot stand the smell of grease and oil. It's just something I can't take.
Mm.
So I got out of that, got into a parts department, then got into service manager. And Bob Maloney was the Ford dealer down the street. I didn't know Bob, but he had a good
Interesting.
reputation. He had a good business here going, was a large Ford dealer. And his body shop manager, who also had a custom hot rod pickup, which I had at the time also, me and him were good friends, and he convinced me to come to work for Bob and him being an assistant manager of a body shop. At that time, we were across the street. We had 10,000 square foot. We had 4 technicians doing it the conventional 80s body man way, a painter, a painter's helper, and me and him. So we ran that way for about 2 years. And then Mike decided that he was going to cross the fence and go to work for Allstate. So at that point, I took over as body shop manager. And that was in 90. I came to work here in 94. In 95 or 96, I went to work as body shop manager for Bob. Up until 2009, we were a Ford dealer, one body shop,
Interesting.
10 of us employees. And in 2009, when the economy and the land and everything, the bubble burst, as we called it back then, when all that happened, we decided to, well, we didn't. Bob decided to close the Ford franchise down. So we shut the body shop down. We found out on December 15th. We had to be closed by December 31st. And Bob Maloney is a person that probably one of the best people on earth. There'll be nobody go to Bob Maloney's funeral and have a bad thing to say about Bob. He's a remarkable person. And if you worked at Bob Maloney in those times, if you made it through Thanksgiving, you did not fire anybody. Nobody got laid off. Everybody was on until past the New Year's. So this was something that just killed Bob. It was just bad. It was a bad deal. So I went to Bob at that time and said, "Hey, I want to buy the body shop business. We're going to close it down. I want to go across the street, which we had buildings over here." And I said, "I want to continue the body shop." So the next morning, Bob and I sat down and Bob was like, "I want to go into business with you. Let's continue the body shop. Let's continue running it." There's, I made Bob, his son, Robert, and me, we went in as one body shop. And at that time, there was 10 of us. We worked in this body shop and we started that way. And that started in 2009, doing a little under $1 million a year. And last year, well, this year we're going to close out somewhere about 29 million. So from 1
Amazing.
million to 29 million in that time frame. Big run. So that's how we
That
started.
is. Boy, I love that. So starting right from out of school, basically, you worked in the automotive industry. You found out you didn't like oil and you didn't like mechanics. I did not know the backstory on the Ford dealership part. That's very interesting.
That same
Very
Ford
interesting.
dealership was Bob's father-in-law's from back in the 60s. And Bob had had it since 81. And then his father-in-law had it. I don't know how long Clyde had it, but I know it was as long as I can remember. And I was born and raised here. I'm 54. And as long as I remember, it's been here. And it was just a staple of the community. Well, since then, the Chrysler dealership right down the street, the General Motors dealership right down the street, and the Ford dealership is all gone. There's no dealerships over here anymore. They all moved to the next town, which is called Bentonville. They all moved over there onto the bypass. So, but we're still here body shopping and enjoying it.
Amazing. Amazing. That is quite the story. Let's go on to another question that I have for you, Kenny. You've worked your way up, as you just told us. You started on the floor up into ownership. Was there a defining point? Maybe it was a job, a mentor, or maybe even a mistake that really shaped how you lead today?
So when I was young and when I got into this business, of course, I was in my low 20s. And here I am trying to manage body guys who were in their 50s and 60s. So I went into it with the wrong start. I went into it that I have to be mean, I have to be tough, I have to have a no tolerance policy. I had to be honest with you, I had to be an ass. And to learn later into it that I didn't have to be that way. So I had a reputation for years of being just the hardest guy to work with. I always took care of my people when you worked for me, but you didn't mess with me. And then years later, after an unfortunate accident, I had an accident over by where you live. I was over there rock crawling and I got thrown out of a Jeep and had brain surgery and brain damage. And I was in a coma and everything. But when I come up out of that, I was a totally different person. Now I'm not, I mean, some of them will still make jokes that I'm still kind of a ass, but I'm not the guy I used to be. I'm a totally different guy now. And with the mentoring of Bob also, which is a big drastic deal, and my dad, who is another Bob Maloney, my dad is. With their mentoring, I've learned a lot difference about working with people and managing and stuff like that. And it's made it a lot more fun. I don't have that reputation as bad anymore. So that's kind of the
I
fun of
appreciate
that.
you. Yeah, I appreciate you opening up like that and sharing that kind of personal side of you. I'm sure that's as the years have went by and as you've developed into the leader you are today. Are there any tips for anybody that's maybe just like 10 years behind you in this journey that you would give to them that has helped you to become this leader?
Just find that mentor, find you somebody and find the guy that impresses you. Find the guy that you can tag onto. And he doesn't have to be in your business.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a
Mm-hmm.
guy, I truly believe it could be a guy at Speedy Mart. It could be a guy
Right.
at a parts store. It could be somebody at church that you want to grow up and end up because we're all going to die. So when you're dead, it's about what Bob has taught me was when you die, you can't take this with you. I mean, it don't matter what you got. So it's a matter of what you're doing with people now and how you're taking care of people now. It really could make the difference when you pass away about what they say at your funeral.
Amazing. I love that perspective. And that just leads me right into another question that I had, Kenny, that I wanted to discuss is about building a team. Obviously, we're in the people business here in the collision repair industry, and you've built a team that stays. And in an industry where this turnover can be tough, what's your secret to keeping people engaged and loyal for the long term?
Find the right people. We went through a group. I mean, we went through two or 300 employees at time. to find the group we have now. And now we've quit hiring the conventionals. We go to the people that embody our core values. The committed, that does what's right, the people first. We've started pushing and working with that. I don't know if you've ever been to a Mike Jones Discover Leadership class, but
No.
you haven't been to Mike Jones yet.
T-
Okay.
tell
And I'm going
tell
to say
tell me a
that
little bit
yet.
about it.
I'm going to say yet. Mike Jones was brought to us by Sherwin Williams in one of our 20 group classes. And Mike Jones puts on it's kind of funny. My wife calls it a cult, but it's in Houston, Texas. It's 4 days. It's four of the toughest days in your life. It is a 6'5" man on a ranch that makes you drink the Kool-Aid. It almost sounds like a cult. You're away from everybody for 4 days. You have no outside contact, no cell phones, no TVs. You have nothing. And you learn a lot about yourself, learn about how to talk with people, and learn how to talk to people. Before this, I would have had the hardest time before Mike Jones sitting here and talking to you on that. And then you learn that through this kind of stuff that what's it matter? I mean, you're just talking with somebody. It's just human being to human being, but it's also about culture. You'll learn a lot about culture in that class. You learn a lot of good people in that class. A pretty amazing thing for changing of lives. We've put, I would say 25 to 30 of our teammates have been through it. Bob's been through it. Myself and Robert's been through it. All of our leaders have been through it. And and we got more going through it. We have more that are going to go. We're not done. We took a little bit of a lull here lately, but we're about ready to send the next round through it. And you learn a lot about culture. You learn a lot about working with people. We have an amazing group. We pay them well. We take care of them well. We're learning. I'm not going to say we're the greatest culture people in the world, but we're learning culture. Used to, when I grew up, culture meant that you showed up to work and you worked 8 to 5. Well, there's some of that can be altered. Just little stuff like breakfast on Thursday mornings. We supply breakfast on Thursday mornings. We work 4.5 days so people can have a work-life balance. And again, I come from a working group that you worked 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. And then I brought to the table that we ought to try to go 4 10s and just close on Friday in a body shop. And everybody was like, let's try it. So we tried it. We run into some issues. So we backed up to a 4.5. So we're open 7 to 5 Monday through Thursday and 7 to 11 on Friday. And on Friday, we close the doors at 11 o'clock in the morning. And I'm talking every employee. No office, nobody to answer the phones, nobody in accounting, nobody in payroll. That's the way we work, 4.5 days. And we thought that would make insurance companies mad or people mad. It didn't. We actually grew business because people understand that post-COVID. People understand that our employees, they really like it. And I mean, you have a half a day on Friday to go do whatever you want to do, whether it's a doctor's office, it's go shopping, it's go eat lunch with your friends, it's whatever. It just really helps with the culture in the shops. We do a lot of that. We help employees. We've got some employees that are off right now for injuries. And we've all taken a vow to people first and commitment and stuff like that to our employees. And we're helping them through all this too. Got some young kids most of our tech help is not older gentlemen. I think there's Bob, there's Glenn, Ken Walters, and me are probably the four oldest at the shops out of 100 and I think we're probably 120 employees. We're the four oldest. Most of our techs are in their 30s to 40s. And I've got
Amazing.
some talented individuals that are amazing. And I've got some team leaders that are really good. A couple of years ago, I took care of everything to the point of here's the check. Robert took care of everything from here's the check in. And it just got to the point where we couldn't handle it anymore. So we put two guys involved that are district now, Matt Schroeder being one and Damon Wetzel being the other. Without these two guys, there's no way we could do what we're doing. It just wouldn't work. So, I mean, I hope that maybe answered a little bit of the question.
Oh man, I don't even know how to recap that. You dropped so much value there. I think for anybody that's listening to this that is looking to grow a team, you gave so much value there of building your people. Like that's amazing, sending team members off to an event for 4 days where they can just grow personally and learn so much. Like That's huge. You're going to have
That
people
event
stick around because they become loyal.
that event's $5,000 a person too, by the way.
Right.
So it's not like
So you're
this is cheap
investing
and
into
it's
them.
not a cheap endeavor. Out of that,
No,
we have
that's
out of that of all the employees we've sent, I think we have lost two employees that have not stayed with us. I think all the rest are still with us. And we've got a lot of tenured employees. We pay 1 week's vacation immediately, 2 weeks after your first year, and then 3 weeks after 5 years. We do 401k. We pay like it comes out to somewhere like 85, 90% of your health insurance for yourself. We take care of our group, but they also take care of us. I
right.
mean, they take care of us. We've got some shop leaders that are just some shop managers that were techs. We've got
Wow.
two of them that I could really tell you on. One of them's name's Rusty and one of them's name's Brian. These two technicians were two of the best technicians I've ever seen in my life. And both of these guys, we pulled them off the floor. They were killing it, man, on the collision side. And we pulled them off to run shops. So when you're taking a producing tech off the floor to run a shop, that tells you something about these two guys have just taken the shops through the roof. The sales have gone up, culture's gone up, everybody's still with both of them. They're amazing guys. And our other guys, we've got other leaders too that are really good too. So that's a little bit on what we do.
Incredible. Incredible. Kenny, that takes me to another question that I wanted to talk to you about is we've just been talking about culture and you guys have been doing a phenomenal job. And what I'd like to hear from you a little bit is as you guys are scaling, and I know you're growing quite rapidly here in 2025, how do you make sure that culture stays intact and you don't lose that along the way as you bring so many new people in and as you scale?
That's been pretty tough. That really has. One thing about us three owners is we try to step foot in every shop at least once a week. A lot of the times, I mean, we're in them way more than that, but all of our shops, all six that we have moving right now, seven with calibration, all seven of our shops are pretty close. We have one in Siloam Springs, and getting from here to Siloam can be a little bit of a task. But we try to get in every one of the shops. We try to talk to, when we come in the door, there's nobody that's a stranger. I walk through the shop and I talk to everybody from the detail guy all the way through to everybody. I want to be friends with them. I want to talk with them. I don't touch a car anymore. I don't touch an estimate. I'm not even sure I know how to turn the computer on anymore. I don't, that's pretty much what I have to deal with is culture and talking with people and making sure if there's any issues, we can solve them and we can make it right for them and try to help them along. Because if we take care of them, they're going to take care of us. The first thing I worry about when I get up in the morning is not what my paycheck is. I do not worry about my paycheck. I don't worry about what I'm going to make. I worry about what everybody else is going to make. If I'm worried about everybody from the detail guy all the way through the service managers, the estimators, the office managers, and everybody like that. If I worry about what they're going to make and they're going to have a family and I want everybody else to drive a new Duramax truck and I want them all to have a boat and a house. And we just hired actually a financial advisor even for our business that we just had our first meeting actually with her a little bit ago. And she's now going to be a financial advisor for any employee that wants to talk with her about everything from how to pay off Snap-on debt, how to buy a house, how to put your kids through college. And that was all from a book called Dream Manager. And it was about when you have these kind of employees and everything, body shops are not known for having stay check employees. Everybody knows that you got the body man that you pay him on Friday and Monday morning, he ain't got money to buy coffee. But we don't want that. We want you to drive new cars if you want that. If you want your kids to go to college, if you want to have 17 kids, let's talk about not how you're going to do that. Let's talk about how you're going to pay for that. And let's try to help you through that. So I do believe
Sounds
culture is really strong. I do believe we are really strong about culture. And I say that heartily because it's one of those things I didn't believe in the years. Like I said, I told you for years it was you got up at 8 o'clock, you went to work, you worked till 5. That was your culture. And now I'm really excited about the youngest generation. I'm really disappointed in my generation. I'm really disappointed in the generation below me. But this youngest generation, they want to be part of something. And I'm really excited about some of them. I've seen some really amazing young guys and girls that are coming up in our business that want to be part of something. And I like that. It's really awesome to see. My word
Outstanding.
on culture.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys are killing it. That's amazing. And hiring a financial advisor for all of your employees to talk to, like what a way to help them and their family build some generational wealth. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
incredible. I love that.
Think about the body man
I
who comes in on Monday morning and doesn't have money to buy lunch. Do you think he's going to work well? Do you think he's going to do a good
oh,
job? Do you think
no,
he's going to, what's he going to be worrying about? He's going to worry about if he can buy a Red Bull or something. I don't want that.
right?
I don't like that. I don't like that for him.
I love that. That is such a brilliant idea. I've never heard of that idea before, but boy, anybody that's listening to this, take that and run with it. Excellent. Hey, let's talk a little bit about doing things right. Your shops are known for doing repairs by the book, following the OEM procedures, investing in certifications. You guys have tons of certifications. What's the leadership lesson behind that commitment to doing things the right way, even when it's harder, even when it's slower, even when you might not get paid what you should?
It's all about your core values, what you think for the customer, what do you want for the customer? Is that 1% or 2% worth somebody getting killed in your car? Is it worth having to go to dinner on Friday night and see somebody you fixed that car for and them go, man, you guys butchered my car? Is it worth being able to sleep at night with your head on a pillow and know that you fixed the customer's car right, whether the insurance paid you to or not? That's one of our true beliefs. And for years, again, we all fixed cars back in the day the same way. We didn't fix them the way we should. When we started on this journey was that we are going to go by the OE procedure. Are we perfect? Absolutely not. Do we try? 100%. Am I ashamed at anything we do? Absolutely not. We have brought in some very big name consultants to audit us, and she audited us without anybody knowing it, and we passed with flying colors. I still pay attention to him and her on the internet, watch all their classes. I still pay attention to the Mike Andersons, the Kristen Felders, the Larry Montanez on how to repair stuff the right way. And we follow the procedure and we document it. Now, it's hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
really, really hard. It's tough. There's going to be a time when you go, wait a minute. On this one, you can't do that. You have to do the best you can with the knowledge that you got and try to do it. And you have to document it. You have to LMA it. You have to, lead management accountability. Everybody has to be on the team to do that. And if they're not on the team, they're not in your business. You need to get rid of them. You've got to get people in there that want to do the same thing. And those technicians are out there. They're at different companies. You might have to pay them more money to come in and do a job right. But at night, are you going to be able to sleep well? Or are you going to be able to see that car at the stoplight out there and go, who fixed that? Look at the color combination on that. I don't want to ever do that. And when I get a bad review, I'm not going to say we've never had one. When I get a bad review, I take that extremely personal. And 99% of the time, I contact the customer and I'll try to contact the customer, try to straighten it out, and try to tell them, hey, we're all human, we all make mistakes. How can we get past this? How can we help you, help us, help everybody get this right for you? And we try. The OE procedures are tough. They're tough to read. They're tough to document. I would tell any body shop owner, if you can't go to the file and prove to a point that you did it by the OE procedure, you don't have the documentation, you don't have the file, you don't have it somewhere where you did it, you did not follow the procedure. And I know I've got really good friends in the body business that are local even. They tell me we're doing it by the procedure. And then when they come here and they look at it, they go, you guys are way ahead of what we're doing by the procedure. But I do know there's guys out there that are way ahead of us. We're going to catch you. We're going to figure it out. We're going to get there. It's just, we're still learning how to get there. So,
Great advice. I just have one question to maybe dig into this just a little bit deeper. Let's say there's a shop owner that's on the fence. They've been fixing cars, just kind of fixing them, not following necessarily OEM procedures. What would be that first step that you would advise they take, or maybe that first step that you guys took when you started down this journey?
go to a shop that's doing it. I have no issues with, even with local shops here. I'm contemplating starting a repair association for this area to try to get everybody to do it do it the correct way. I don't care
Mm,
what you're charging, what labor rates. I don't care about any of that. I'm not after that. I'm after the procedure says when you put the bedside on that truck, that you put it on the right way, you put it on the correct way for the customer that's going to save the customer. Is a bedside ever going to kill a customer? Probably not. But could it? Yeah, it could. If
mhm.
you don't put the bedside on right and it crushes the bed and then the bed hits the cab. A friend of mine the other day gets hit. He's running 70 mile an hour down the interstate, pulling a trailer with a tractor, and a kid runs out in the middle of the road and he hits him. The trailer come around and hit the cab. I have fixed that truck prior to that. So when he called me, he's one of my best friends. When he called me and said, "Hey man, I've been in an accident," I didn't have to worry about, "Are you all right?" because of what we did. My first words are, "You all right?" I know you're sending me pictures, you're texting me, so you're not in the hospital. But when I seen this truck, I was just like, this could have killed somebody real easy if the cab corner wouldn't have been put on right, which is where his kid sits. And that trailer come around and smacked that cab corner in that rear door. If his kid would have been there, we'd have repaired that cab corner incorrectly and not put it back right. Could that have killed somebody? Yeah, it could have. And I wouldn't have been able to sleep. I would not have been right about it. So, and I'm really strong on it. Bob is extremely strong on it. We have our lead estimators and our lead damage analysis people. We have one by the name of Dylan Shoemaker, and this guy's a monster. This guy can pull the procedures like nobody I've ever seen. Did I say Schumacher? Wait a minute, I said his name. It's Smith because I don't want anybody trying to hire him. This guy's amazing at what he does and pulling those procedures. So the guys know what they're doing and how to do it right. Down to if it's supposed to have 56 welds in a quarter, we document that there's 56 welds in a quarter and where the welds are at
Amazing.
and everything. So correct way.
That's amazing. Yeah. So, Kenny, you mentioned a while ago how you're sending guys off to like these Mike Jones events, and I'd like to dig into that a little bit deeper. And you also mentioned how young your team is at Bob Maloney. What does mentorship look like inside your organization? I know you mentioned a couple things already, but if you don't mind just elaborating on that, and how do you help this next generation see a career path inside of our industry here at the collision repair industry?
Most of our employees that we have come from anywhere from wash bay all the way through to technician. Anthony Frazier's a guy that's a really good example. Todd Samuels is a really good example. Anthony come on board as a glass technician just to do glass work. Anthony just started catching on really quick on when he wasn't doing glass, on helping the ATEC.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ATEC's like, "Hey man, why don't we pull Anthony over here?" So he started pulling Anthony over there. Well, now Anthony has progressed himself to an A technician level and is the A tech at our P Ridge shop. He come in as a glass tech. Todd Samuels come on
Amazing.
with us at the age of 17 or 18 back in the early days of Bob Maloney, back when we were across the street, we were a Ford dealer. And Todd come in as wash boy. Now, I'll tell you this. I
Mm-hmm.
fired Todd 2 or 3 times, maybe seven is the number we're trying to remember a while back. And but Todd's a head painter. Todd's a full-on head painter
Amazing.
and probably one of the better painters that I've seen in a long time. Glenn at this shop here at the Rogers shop, our main location. Glenn's 22 years old. This kid was in school, like me when I was in school. He determined that school wasn't for him. So he told his parents, "I'm going to drop out." His parents said, "You can drop out, but you got to get a GED." So he got his GED at like 17, 16 or 17, got his GED and came to work for us. And I don't even remember what Glenn started doing. But then we started putting Glenn into prepping. And we're like, this kid never slows down. This kid is 90 mile an hour all the time. Glenn is now our head painter and at 22
Mm.
years old, and this kid is remarkable. This kid is an amazing painter. So we try to bring a lot. We do have programs for you to start at the bottom and bring your way to the top.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot more of our technicians than just those three that have done that. Everybody from Rusty to Brian Connell's to Tyler Henderson's. Tyler Henderson was another way. Tyler was I think just a shop cleanup boy when he started with me back in the old days, the Ford dealer. He was a shop cleanup boy. Now Tyler's a shop manager at P Ridge running his own shop. And a lot of them are that way. So we want to bring up from within. If you want to come up with us and start from the bottom and work your way in, let's do it. Let's go. Let's just tell me what you need, where you want to be. Got a lot of them that way. A lot of them. And it's fun to watch.
Amazing.
Yep, it's fun to watch.
Absolutely. That's rewarding to see that kind of growth internally from your own team, to see them and then that impact that it makes on them and their family.
Yep.
So basically, you're helping the next generation, the younger generation, to see that there is a path forward here. Even if I start as a wash boy, I can work my way up. I can learn new skills. I can make more money, is what you guys are doing there at Bob Maloney.
Yeah, we can give you a career. That's the big
Amazing.
deal. Let's do a career. Let's not do a job. A job is
Mm,
no fun. A job to me is a four-letter word. Let's do a career. Let's do something that we excited to get up during the day and go do.
mm,
Let's do something that we want to do. Let's show up and work with people we want to work with. Let's not make this a hard place to show up. If you want to show up and have fun, we can have fun and still be serious and have fun with it. We can still pull jokes and pranks and mess with each other and put tape on each other's car with sayings. And I mean, we still have fun. They like to mess with me a lot. One of the fun ones of that was we I went and bought me a new Duramax truck and bought it the first day. I drove straight to a body shop, one of our shops, and I'm there for an hour. I get back in my truck and I drive off down the road. And about every 45 seconds, this loud beep would go off in this brand new Duramax truck. I mean, like 4 miles on it. So after about 10 minutes of driving, and I drove straight back to the dealer and I said, "Hey, this truck's got a loud beep in it. I don't know what it is. I've got something turned on. I don't know what I've turned on." And they're like, "Okay." So they come out with service writers and they got like, at this point, I think they've got 5 service advisors in the truck with me. And we're driving around the lot. And this truck is beep every 45 seconds. So they tell me, they're like, we pull the glove box down coming out of the dash. They're like, "I don't know." They're like, "Bring it back in on Thursday." I said, "You guys are going to make me drive this truck for 4 days with this noise in it?" And they're like, "Yeah, we can't get it in." I'm like, "All right." So I'm driving it for the next 3 days. I got people in the truck with me all the time and it's beep. And everybody's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "We don't know. It's going to the dealer to figure out." So that morning, I'm driving it to the dealer. One of my guys is in the truck with me, and all of a sudden, I hit stop, I hit brakes, and something slides out from underneath the passenger seat. And it was a smoke alarm with a dead battery in it and duct taped under the bottom of the seat. And it said a very descriptive word, "You, Kenny Davis." And it was taped underneath my passenger seat. So we could still have pranks and have fun. That is still probably one of the best pranks of any time. So if you get a dead smoke alarm with the battery in it that sends off the beep, don't throw it away. It makes a
right.
great prank for people. So we still have fun. Yeah.
That is so funny. Good stuff. Hey, Kenny, here at Body Shop Leaders, as we're wrapping this up, we have a tradition of where the previous guest leaves a question for the next guest. And the question that was left for you is this: what's one lesson about leadership that took you the longest to learn, but made the biggest difference in how you lead today?
You don't have to be an asshole. Sorry to use that word on here, but you don't have to be. You can do it. You can
Gotcha.
build
Yeah.
respect. You can have respect, and you don't have to be that way. Just, I just don't be that way.
Right.
There's no reason to anymore. So that'd be
Right.
probably my biggest one, the small, short sentence. Yep.
Be a leader, lead from the front. Kenny, this has been awesome. I really appreciate how honest and open you've been about your journey. You've shared a lot, and there's a lot in here for shop owners who want to build great teams and reputations the right way. So thank you, Kenny, for taking the
Thank
time to
you.
join us today.
I
So to our
appreciate it. It was a
listeners,
great time.
absolutely enjoyed this. To our listeners, if you took something from this episode, share it with another shop owner who's leading their team forward. This is Body Shop Leaders, powered by Body Shop Marketing, helping collision shops grow smarter. I'm Daniel Burkholder. We'll see you next time.